10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello student, good evening. Welcome to all of you. Today we are going to continue our first chapter, number system. But before we go ahead, let us first revise our first period here within 1 or 2 minutes what we have studied so far. Okay, in number system, we have studied about number line. We have studied about various types of number chart, real numbers, rational number, irrational fraction number, integer numbers, negative numbers, whole numbers, natural numbers, zero, natural numbers, whole numbers, collection of natural numbers and zero becomes whole numbers, collection of integer, rational number q, which is denoted by q for all positive, negative integers, moreover all fraction plus zero. Definition of rational number, and then we have take a example how to find out rational number between two given rational numbers, and then I have also given you 2-3 example at homework. I hope that you have all have done your homework, how to represent zero on number line, how to represent negative and positive numbers on number line, how to represent fractional number on number line. This is homework for you, and at last we discuss about definition of irrational numbers. So a number S is called a irrational number if it cannot be written in the form p by q, where p and q are integers and q doesn't equal to 0. Vice versa, a number r is called a rational number if it can be written in the form p by q. So it is obviously we say that if number is not irrational, then it is rational. If number is not rational, then it is irrational. So there are infinitely many irrational numbers. For example, root 3, root 2, root 5, root 21, pi, 0.01001001 0001111 and so on. Then definition of real numbers: the collection of all rational numbers and irrational numbers is called real numbers, and which is denoted by r. So all numbers, rational, irrational, fractional, negative, positive integers, zero, whole numbers, all are real numbers. But not that every real number is represented by a unique point on the number line. Vice versa, all every point on the number line represents a unique real number. Write down in your notebook. Every real number is represented by a unique point on the number line, and also every point on the number line represents a unique real number. Then let us see what is Pythagoras theorem. So in the right angle triangle, square of hypotenuse is equal to the sum of squares of the remaining two sides of the triangle. That means if we have this right angle triangle ABC, suppose BC3 is equal to 3, AB is equal to 4 unit, and AC is equal to 5 unit, then what Pythagoras says that AB square plus BC square is equal to AC square. You can see here easily AB square, that means 4 square plus 3 square is equal to 16 plus 9 is equal to 25 is equal to 5 square is equal to 5 is AC is equal to AC square. Now see here, if we have triangle PQR A B C, PQ is equal to A, QR is equal to B, and PR is equal to C, then PQ square plus QR square is equal to PR square. PQ is equal to A, therefore A square, QR is equal to B, therefore B square, PR is equal to C, therefore C square. That means from the Pythagoras theorem, A square plus B square is equal to C square. If we take A is equal to 1 and B is equal to 1, then 1 square plus 1 square is equal to 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. Therefore, C square is equal to 2. Therefore, C is equal to root 2. You all should write down in your notebook. So, by using Pythagoras theorem, we can find root 2. Now, let us see how to locate root 2 on the number line. Okay, draw in your notebook. Use ruler to draw number line. All students should draw this figure in your notebook with me. We are going to locate root to one number line. Use your compass. Take unique distance, one unit distance between 2 points. We have already discussed about that in our last lecture. Okay, now put number on number line starting from 0, then 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now see that use protractor to draw. Take 90 degree, join these 2 points, perpendicular line segment, 1 and the point. Draw this figure carefully. Okay, draw this perpendicular line segment on one perpendicular to number line at 1, and now again use your compass, because the line segment should be of 1 unit. See this all carefully, what I am doing here. Take one distance, unit distance. Now join this point from 0. So you know Pythagoras theorem very well, that this is being right angle triangle. So two sides are 1 and 1. That means the biggest side is root 2. Now again use your compass and measure the distance root 2, and then arc on number line. So that means this point is root 2. So this is root 2. I think you all have complete and understand very well. If you have any problem, then you can ask me at any time. Now, now if we take a is equal to 1 and b is equal to root 2, then 1 square plus root 2 square is equal to 1 plus 2 is equal to 3, and therefore c square is equal to 3, therefore c is equal to root 3. Understand? So now let we see how to locate root 3 on the number line. Use protractor to measure 90-degree angle. Now see here, I have already take this point. You see here already this I have take this point using protractor, and then as our first step, again draw perpendicular line on number line at root 2. Take unit distance, 1 unit distance. Now again repeat the step that measure distance between 0 and that point. Obviously we know that Pythagoras, we say that it is root 3. Okay, and by this way go for another step from here. And now next step for root 4. Root 4 is equal to 2, which is rational number, but let us check if our next arc fall on exactly 2, then we can say that, or we can easily check that our previous step root 2 and root 3 are okay. So let us see here what happened. Don't forget this to take unit distance. You all should draw in your notebook with me, because afterward I am going to give you homework also. to draw another figure, another locate another rational numbers. Okay, so now you see that 1, then root 2, then root 3, and then root 4 is equal to 2. So do practice for this root 2, root 3 every day, and if your third step fall on exactly 2, then that means it's all okay. Now let us see in your textbook, if you have textbook, question number exercise number 1.2, question number 1, state whether the following statements are true or false. Justify your answer. First one is every irrational number is a real number. Every irrational number is a real number. So see, this is true because we know that a collection of rational and irrational number is real numbers. That's why every irrational number is a real number. Second one, every point on the number line is of the form root m, where m is natural number. Okay, let us take m is natural number. Suppose 1, under root 1 is equal to 1. 4 is equal to 2. 9 is equal to 3. But what about root 3? Every point on the number line is of the form m, where we can show the number as root m. See here, root 2, root 3, we can't be represent as root m because m being natural number. Now, third one, every real number is an rational number. Is an irrational number. So you know that real number is collection of irrational number and rational number. That means every real number may not be irrational number, it may be rational also. Okay. Now question number second. Are the square roots of all positive integers irrational? Are the square root of all positive integers irrational? If not, then give an example of the square root of a number that is rational number. So let us we see this solution. The square root of all positive integers are not irrational. Take example root 25. Square root of that means the number 25 and square root of 25 is equal to 5 and which is not irrational number because root 25 is rational numbers. Now this is homework for you. So how root 5 can be represented on the number line? This is our question number 3 of exercise number 1.2. Write down in your notebook. So how to locate root 5 on number line? So you should do at your home after my this period. And another one also special homework. This is from me. Locate root 11 on the number line. Locate root 11 on the number line. Now our next point, real numbers and their decimal expressions. So how can we express 1 by 3 in decimal? So you know that 1.1 divided by 3 is equal to 0.3333 and so on. Now what about 1 by 7? Let us see. 28 to 56. That means 1 remainder not becomes 0 and it is continuous and repeating block. Here you see that 3 by 5 is equal to 0.6, 7 by 8 is equal to 0.875, 3 by 4 is equal to. So in these all cases, the decimal expansion terminates or ends after a finite numbers of steps, and we call the decimal expansion of such numbers is terminating. The remainder never becomes 0. 10 by 3 is equal to 3.3333. Remainder never becomes 0. 1 by 7, 0.14287, then repeat. Again this block is repeating. So these types of decimal expansion of such number we call non-terminating. So if remainder becomes 0 at any stage, it is terminating, and remainder doesn't become 0, it's non-terminating recurring. Moreover, the usual way of showing that 3 repeats in the quotients of 10 by 3 is to write as 3.3 bar. And similarly, okay, we discuss about 3.572727272727 and so on. So repeating block of digit is 72. So 3.572 bar. The bar sign on 70